Lisa Fosu, Brenyah, candidate number 8228. Okay, Lisa, you've just watched some dance footage. Can you tell me some strengths and weaknesses you've just seen and a viable action plan? Off you go.
The dance that I've just watched was of 3 girls. I think that it had had lots of compositional ideas which were very effective. One of them was their use of different directions. At one point the girls done a simple hair flip downwards and back up. However, they'd done this in 3 different directions, so the dance move had more power and it was emphasised. I would say that as a group, the girl on the right was the strongest dancer because she was able to be very sharp with some of her skills such as tutting. However, I would say the girl on the left was the weakest. The reason for this, however, she did have many strengths. One of them was her body roll, so she was able to be balanced at one point, to be able to get flexion in her joints from her knees to her hips and to her torso. So this was very effective as it had large movement, so it wasn't very static. I would also say her downward punches were very successful because her hands were clenched into a fist and they clearly went across her body, so that dance move was very clear. Also it had lots of power because of the speed that she performed it at. I would also say her leg turns, which was rotating at the hip, on the balls of your feet, moving the knee inwards on both sides of the legs, was very effective because she was able to do that in time. However, she did also have lots of weaknesses. One of them was her clarity of movement. This was evident when she was doing some tutting. So one aspect of tutting is it needs to be clear and very sharp. However, she didn't have this, so the dance move was kind of lost or wasn't as evident as it could have been. Another weakness was her turns. So at one point she'd done a turn and she wasn't orientated properly. This basically stopped her from being able to do the next dance move in time, which was her second weakness. This actually affected the dance as a group because it looked disorientated and it didn't look very clean. As a whole, I would say what could really help her with this is an action plan on balance. The reason for this is because with balance she's able to do a turn properly, and it will also help her timing to be able to continue on to the next dance move. So I would start with a 6-week program. The reason why it's 6 weeks is it's long enough to be able to see effects, positive effects of the sessions. However, it's not too long that she would get demotivated and bored of the session and having negative effects on her performance. So at the start of the training program, I would do a test, which is for her to do as many turns as possible without her getting dizzy. So this would be compared to a test that I would do at the end of the session to be able to see the progress that she's been able to make. So for the first sessions through week 1 to week 3, I would have 1 fitness session and 1 dance session. So the fitness session would concentrate on her core, so getting her muscles within her core strengthened, so she'd be able to hold her body upright when doing a turn, and she's able to be more controlled. I would have a core session that lasts an hour, and then later on in the week I would have a dance session for around an hour as well. So whatever she has learned from the core session, she's able to apply it into her dance section. I would do that for 3 weeks. However, within the 3 weeks, I would push her harder to work at a higher intensity. However, from week 4 to week 6, I would have 2 core sessions lasting an hour each, and I would have a dance session that would last an an hour and a half to 2 hours rather than an hour to an hour and a half, as I would have done in the first section. So this is also to help her with other aspects of her dance and integrating her balance into other dance moves. So at the end of the 6-week program, I would do the test, as I said before, to be able to see how much she's actually been able to improve. Moving on, I would have, I've noticed that there are many choreography pointers which were very evident that could also be improved. One of them was the use of levels. So the girls were, they were standing straight, upright at all times of the dance. However, they could have used levels such as doing maybe floor work to be able to have more of a variety. Also, however, one strength of the choreography that I found was their formation. So the girls weren't always standing one next to the other, straight looking towards the camera. However, at some points you would have one girl in the middle, behind, and 2 at the front, or 1 in the front and 2 behind. And then this really did work with one of the strengths, which was travelling as a group, to be able to move those girls from behind slowly to the front. So there are many ways that a person can become a professional street dancer. So the first way is on a local scale. So you have lots of clubs such as Us Girls, which is located in Ilford, and Dance Buzz, which is located in various locations within London. These locations help with mass participation, which is one of the factors that the NGB of exercise, movement and dance partnership really do want. So one of their aspects of targets is to get more specialised teachers and get sessions that are of higher quality and get more people active within dance and movement. So they are basically clubs that really do help on a local scale. However, you can move on to a national scale where you can go on to competitions such as the UK Street Dance Championships. They are split up into regional areas such as East Anglia, where groups within that region can compete against each other and be able to get the title as winner of that district. Another way would be the educational route. So there are dance schools such as Brit School and the County Italia Academy of Theatre and Arts, which basically have a variety of teachers and specialist equipment that can actually help the students to become more successful street dancers through learning other forms of dance, such as ballet. So they're able to broaden their horizon of street dance, as it's already a dance that's very broad and isn't very fixed on what can be accepted within it. So schools such as those really do help street dancers and other dancers, as they have showcases in which companies can come and watch and see what students stand out to them, and they're able to hire the students, and from that moment the student has become a professional, as they're already earning money from their skill. Another way is through the centre within the Italia, in which they have teachers who are able to hand out resumes from the students and get them off to auditions, and that is another way that the students can get paid for their skill of dance. Another way, which is sort of a fast track way, is on a national scale of media and TV. So TV shows such as Britain's Got Talent and So You Think You Can Dance has basically given the UK a variety of different types of dancers of different scales. So single dancers such as George Sampson into larger groups such as Diversity. They have been able to move from their small scale of local troops into a well-known group which is able to make their own money through dance and also other TV shows. So another way is through the movies such as All Stars, which is targeted at young people, very young children, usually of primary school or to year 7 age. So you can become a professional at any age. And also street dance, which has many continuations of the movie. There are many health-related fitness factors that a street dancer is required to have, and they can also develop through participating. One of them is muscular endurance. This is very important for a street dancer because they want to be able to perform at the same standard that they do at the start of the dance all the way to the end of the dance. So the dance has lots of consistency. Another way is through the cardiovascular fitness. A street dancer needs to have a lot of cardiovascular fitness of a high level, so that they're able to get enough blood to their muscles, their working muscles, so they're able to carry out the dance, which can sometimes be quite long and very intensive. Another thing is flexibility. So for a dancer such as a crumper or a break dancer, this is very important to be able to do turns and sometimes do rotations of the hips, to be able to literally fling the upper body around in a large circle to get power, and also of the back. So flexibility of the back is very important in some of the aspects of street dance. Lastly, coordination is very important as in street dance you're required to do lots of dance moves which require you to do one thing with your upper body and another thing with your lower body. So this is very important and can be developed through street dance. There are a lot of balanced, active, healthy lifestyle factors which a street dancer must have to be successful, but can also cultivate. I've split them up into physical, personal, and mental. So for the physical aspect, it includes a nutritious diet. This is very important for a street dancer because they need to be able to have the energy and the ability to recover to be able to perform to the best of their ability. So food such as proteins is very good to be able to build up muscle. This is very important for groups such as diversity, as they do lots of lifts, so they need to be able to have the muscle to be able to lift people. This also goes very well with the prevention of injury and illness. So to be able to have a balanced, active, healthy lifestyle, you need to be healthy, and a nutritious diet really does help with this. So one other way that a nutritious diet can help with that is through the energy that a person has, which is part of their ability to be healthy. So carbohydrates are very important, such as simple carbs, which are very useful for competitions, so you get a high boost of energy for a short period of time, so you're able to dance as hard as possible to get the best performance possible. However, complex carbs would be useful for training sessions, so pastas would be quite useful for that. So you're able to have a consistent level of performance. However, the energy is released over a long period of time, so you're able to keep the same intensity of dance for that long period of time. So as I said, being able to prevent injury and illness is very important. However, this also goes with physical exercise. So dancers are required to be able to condition their bodies, which is intense training sessions to be able to get the body in shape for competitions. So with the ability of physical exercise, you're able to prevent injuries and illnesses such as CHD, osteoporosis, and myocardial infarction, which are very dangerous and can be prevented in this way. There are also mental aspects towards having a balanced, active, healthy lifestyle. One of them is free time. So free time and hobbies, which are two different aspects which really do coincide. allow the person to have time to relax and be able to relieve stress, which is another factor. Another way that stress can be released through this is through the social aspect of dance. So lots of dancers don't actually train by themselves, but train with friends, and some dancers are actually in troops, so that is already a family form. So this is through that you're able to gain relationships, which is another factor. So through social aspects and relationships, you're able to reduce your stress levels and your ability to handle pressure, as you're able to express yourself with any problems that you might have, and get on with life. And this is all through having hobbies such as dance, or just having dancing through free time. Lastly, the last category would be personal. In this, it requires rest and sleep, which is very important. So a minimum of 7 hours of sleep a day is very important to be able to have the mental alertness to be able to focus in training sessions, and also be prepared for competitions. So you know what dance you're doing, all the steps to it, and to keep it sharp, and be mentally prepared and be ready for the performance or training. Lastly, in personal, you'd have personal hygiene, which is very important for a street dancer, as sessions can be very long and strenuous, and as a result you would get very sweaty. So having a change of clothes would be very good to be able to get away from all that sweat, but if possible a shower would be advised to keep that personal hygiene.